Generation X. In general terms, those born between 1965 and 1980. Latchkey kids. Independent. Existentialism. Modern philosophy focusing on personal experience, human ability, and responsibility in an otherwise meaningless universe. We're the cause. This is the effect. We're the Gen-X-istentialists. Welcome into the Gen-X-istentialists podcast. My name is Scott.
And I'm Bunny.
And we're here to tickle your funny bone and any other bone that you have exposed with all kinds of Gen X wisdom and fun. And Bunny, I want to start off with a rapid fire.
All right, hit me.
And we're doing this kind of out of sync because it's kind of getting to the summertime. It's not school time or anything like that. But we're going to do a rapid fire on 70s and 80s school supplies.
Oh, okay.
Ready?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, Trapper Keeper or Peachy folders?
Oh, Trapper Keeper.
Yeah, I don't even know what a Peachy folder is, do you?
Peachy folder is like, it's those yellow folders that had like the sports people on it. Like it had like a football player and a cheerleader and some other stuff. It was Peachy was the brand.
Oh, that, yeah, no.
It's a little 60s for us. So,
oh, okay. Yeah. Nothing there. So,
yeah.
Lisa Frank or plain composition notebooks?
Plain composition notebooks. I can draw my own. Lisa Frank is the one that does all the super rainbow unicorns and rainbow teddy bears and all that kind of girly girl stuff.
Yeah. Okay. This is a good one. Number 2 pencil, like that you have to grind, or a mechanical pencil?
Number 2 pencil.
Really?
I'm a Ticonderoga guy myself.
Really?
Yeah. Love them.
Tracy is too. She loves regular pencils with the sharpener, and the Ticonderoga is like her jam.
Yeah.
See, I'll take a mechanical pencil.
There's nothing better. Man, was there anything better than like emptying out the pencil sharpener in school and getting a whiff of that lovely wood smell?
I'll give you that. That was awesome. See, do you remember pencil fighting?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I go back to that.
Funny you mentioned that because I have a new podcast that probably has a couple of episodes out now. It's just a personal monologue podcast called Love Letters to Forgotten Things. And
do you talk about pencil fighting?
One of the episodes is all about pencil fighting.
Yes.
So there you go. And I don't know if it's a universal thing or not. We'll find out.
Yeah. Now, were you a fan of, because I think you and I did occasionally on the school bus to and from Project Ascent, because that was the only, and usually it happened on the school bus. If you're not familiar with what we're talking about, 2 people line up, each with a pencil, and you hold it out horizontal, and the other person tries to break it by snapping their pencil down on yours.
Yes.
Were you a fan of like pulling the eraser out of your pencil and like biting down on the metal end to kind of make an axe out of it?
Yeah, I never did that because I didn't like the feel of that against my teeth. But I know a lot of kids that did, and that's actually mentioned in the episode, the whole kids that do that, and then they bite their eraser to put it back on if your pencil survives, because you have to,
Yeah, you still need to use it.
So it's a thing.
Okay, great. So, now I want to go grab a couple pencils from upstairs and pencil fight in between the shows. Okay, colored pens or gel pens?
Gel pens.
Yeah. Ruler or protractor?
I'm a ruler guy.
Rolling backpacks or duffel bags?
Who the hell has a rolling backpack?
I have no idea.
Are you going on a trip?
Yeah.
So you're going to stow it away in your carry-on area? No, just give me a regular old backpack. How about that?
Okay, erasers shaped like animals or pencil toppers?
Erasers shaped like animals.
Yeah, or aliens.
Yeah, I appreciate the aliens, the rubbos.
Yes.
And I also enjoy the ones that were shaped like race cars.
Yeah.
Those are fun.
Absolutely. Chalkboards or overhead projectors?
Chalkboards.
I would agree, mainly because, did you have algebra with Miss Chestnut?
Yeah.
Okay. The overhead projector, that ruined that class. And I learned a lot in the class, and it wasn't about Miss Chestnut. The overhead projector work just ruined the use of them as teaching tools for me. Because lights go out, the overhead projector is on, she's shining at the wall and kind of drawing on it, and it always put me asleep. Because I had her like 5th hour, like
she
after
was dull
lunch.
Anyway. So.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Anyway.
Ruth Ann Chestnut.
Yeah, it was Yeah, because she never signed her whole name. It was always Rack, R-A-C. Yeah. Spiral Nope. Sorry, folks. Taking you back to the late 80s, early 90s at Scott High School. Spiral notebooks or 3-ring binders?
3-ring binder.
Best of both worlds. A spiral notebook with the 3-hole punch that you can put into the binder.
True. Yeah, very nice.
Smelly markers or standard markers?
I always like the scented markers.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to get markers, then you have to absolutely go for the added scent feature.
Now, ironically, on 2 other upcoming episodes, there's an episode dedicated to scented markers.
Yes.
And there's an episode dedicated to novelty erasers as well.
This is beautiful. So, it's amazing how this stuff ties in together.
Keep your ears peeled, kids.
We should do an episode dedicated to your show in the future.
Oh,
I can interview you about it, and we can play clips and stuff.
You never know.
That would be cool. So we will drop back and punt and drop into the family-friendly Mega Wheel the Magnificent.
Did you have the eraser that was shaped like a football?
I did.
Did you?
Actually, I did. I had one shaped like a football. There was one that I really loved. It was like a flying saucer.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was from the Robos collection. I remember that one.
Yeah, that was definitely
That's
a favorite.
pretty great.
Well, this is an odd question. Is there a place for monogamy in today's world?
Absolutely.
I would fucking hope so.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I don't know. Everybody's talking about polycules and...
Polycules?
Polycules. That's like something where you have like 3 people that live together or fuck each other. I don't know. Yeah, I'm paraphrasing here. I'm getting right to the meat, the bone in the meat there, if you will.
Bone in the meat.
Yeah.
Yep. Welcome to the Gen-X-istentialists podcast.
Sweeter is the meat. So yeah, there's all sorts of Tinder and hookups and all that crap today, but I don't think, and this is I hear people out there going boomer already, but you can't beat a little monogamy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I am a fan of monogamy, but you know what? Whatever floats your boat.
Yeah.
Just
don't tell me about it.
I don't even care. I mean, if it comes up in conversation, sure, tell me about it. I know what I like, and I'm monogamous, and I enjoy it. It's fun.
Even when I was dating, I wasn't like dating 3 and 4 girls at once.
No.
I was always monogamous. So
Yeah.
It's got to be a cultural thing, like a generational thing.
It could be. There was a point where I was dating someone, and she was also dating other people. So it wasn't, but I wasn't seeing anybody else.
So it was just a friends with benefits thing, basically.
Kinda, yeah. I was young. I was, just doing stuff. I wasn't putting a lot of thought into it. I was honestly at the time I was more interested in band practice than I was in going out on dates anyway. So it worked out pretty well. We will move on to another spin from Mega Wheel the Magnificent here on the Gen-X-istentialists podcast. As always, leave us a note, leave us a comment, like, subscribe, love us. Please, love us. I'm going to assume by grown up, this question means porn.
Oh.
Okay. That's how I'm prefacing the question.
All right.
Favorite performer from grown-up films.
Grown-up film.
And why?
Christy Canyon, without a doubt. I can name that one right off the top of my head.
Okay, but
why? I thought she was one of the most beautiful women I'd ever seen.
She is.
Not her enormous rack withstanding, speaking of Ruth Ann Chestnuts and other things. Yeah, no, I thought she was just very, very attractive.
Yeah.
And I was always a fan. How about you?
Nikki Dial.
Nikki Dial. I'm not familiar with Nikki Dial.
Oh, my God. Yeah, same thing. Just absolutely gorgeous. Mm-hmm. And one of those porn actresses that it didn't seem forced when she spoke. It was like you watched, and in the parts where there were dialogue anyway, like she could have actually been an actress, like in regular films. It wasn't forced. Everything kind of flowed, and she was just absolutely kind of girl next door, but also just crazy sexy.
All right.
So yeah, Nikki Dial, absolutely.
So who was your favorite grown-up film star out there, kids? Drop us a line.
Yeah, I would love to see what we would get, because a lot of that is generational too, because most porn stars have like a certain time period that they worked in.
It's a narrow window.
Yeah, and if you jump up just a few years or back a few years, you're going to run into different people and things like that. And we have friends that are like purveyors, like they were porn aficionados, and I'm sure that they could give us lists of different people and their attributes.
They wouldn't, but I'm sure they could.
They may do it anonymously. I'm sure one of us might get an email like, here's your list. So we will give Mega Wheel of Magnificent another spin and see if we can get another grown-up topic, because that was kind of fun. And what we have is, which 1980s comic book series first introduced you to the funnier side of superheroes or villains?
I'm going to be dead ass with you. I was never a big comic book fan.
Okay.
I never really purchased them, never read them. The superheroes were just not my thing.
Yeah.
The only comics that I read, and that was very infrequently, it was when we were on vacation and we'd stop at a gas station or something, and my parents would let me pick up a comic book to keep me quiet in the back seat, basically. And that was usually Rom the Space Knight, or the X-Men back when they had Puck.
Yes,
you remember that?
Puck. Alpha Flight. Yes,
back in those days. So, and I don't know that much about it. So, I am going to defer that question to the comic book nerd sitting across from me, because that wasn't my jam.
80s, I wasn't as much of a comic book nerd. I didn't follow any just hardcore. It was more like a thing when we would go to the drugstore. I might pick one or two up off the rack and just read them, like the original G.I. Joe comics and stuff like that. I have become much more of a comic book nerd in later life. Like right now, there are series that I follow religiously, like all the Moon Knight stuff, all the Daredevil stuff, all the Deadpool stuff, and everything Star Wars related. Because the entire universe, like for the Star Wars comics and the novels and stuff, it's not like you need it to understand the movies or the TV shows. It just fills in so many gaps. And I just love everything about that universe. But in relation to the question, 80s comic book series first introduced you to the funnier side of superheroes and villains. Spider-Man.
Okay.
Because Spider-Man is just Mr. Snark.
All right.
And Mr. Comedian, like fighting the terrible things that could happen with a quip here and there, and then the thwip of the webs. That there could be comedy even in the most serious situation.
All right.
And follow that up with like the Star Wars stuff. Certain lines in the movies, like when Han Solo tells Chewbacca, I don't know, fly casual. I mean, that's hilarious. I laughed out loud at that as a kid. I laugh out loud at it every time I watch the movie now, Return of the Jedi, for those of you scoring at home. It's just hilarious. And if you watch the film, Han says that, and Chewbacca kind of goes, what? Doesn't say that. I was like, huh? But there is a funny side. So even in the darkest moments and stuff, superhero movies, things like that, science fiction, whatever, humor has a place. And I've kind of taken that into my work life and stuff too. I love sarcasm. And I think that's a Gen X thing too. Like, sarcasm is my love language. Like, if I can add a little just slightly sarcastic quip to make some people kind of smile a little bit and break some tension. Because, you're in a room, you're having a serious conversation about a serious business thing or doing an incident investigation. Obviously, there's weight to it. But if that's all you get, it kind of clouds things. If you can lighten things with a little bit of jocularity, it always helps. Or at least that's my take. It always has for me.
All right.
So, we will give Mega Wheel another spin. We really need, I've said this multiple times, we really need to change the picture on the wheel.
Yeah. I'll get around to it. I made some calls.
Okay. This kind of spins off that whole serious situation, make a funny quip. How does one find a balance between empathy and personal boundaries?
I think it's easier for some than others. I'd like to generalize and say it's easier for Gen X than most, because we have a very fine line between we give a crap and why the hell would you think I'd give a crap?
Yeah.
That's sort of the way my world is. Yeah. I used to be a lot more empathetic when I was young, and things hit me different, as the kids now say. It just hits different, man. Yeah, it's things hit me different back then. I've since learned to compartmentalize as things happen, as you take hits when you get older. You either compartmentalize or you end up one of those miserable old biddies on Facebook constantly complaining about the government and the plight of the people across the ocean and the poor people in your neighborhood and the poor dog that needs to be adopted. And you take up all sorts of weird, wicked crusades trying to fill that empathy hole that you end up having. I think you have to have personal boundaries. I was just having a conversation this morning, and I've heard this from a number of people, including people very close to me. The obnoxious reply of, yeah, well, how does that really affect you? And that's a good point. It's worded nastily, but it's a good point. Yeah. Where I think people really need to take a step back and say, really, how does that affect you? Does something that's happening 2 counties away, 2 continents away, 2 planets away, does that really affect you in your daily life, or is this something that you're being programmed to be upset about?
Yeah.
So yeah, and the general Gen X response to all this is why the fuck would you think I'd give a crap about a lot of this stuff? It doesn't affect me, a lot of stuff. So I think compartmentalizing is a good way to deal with that. That's how I do it.
Yeah.
How about you?
I tend to be more empathetic than is good for any one person to be. And what that has led to me doing, especially as I have aged, is to become more callous. Not even compartmentalizing, but just realizing there are certain things that I cannot do anything about. Mm-hmm. And if I let them in, if I spend time on them, I'm giving time to something that I have no control over, and that doesn't help me at all. And I can't help the people, group, situation that these things are happening in.
Yeah. Well, you can't help somebody else until you can help yourself first.
Right, exactly. It doesn't do me any good doing my job if I'm soaked up with everything else that's going on. So, I find other ways. I write about it. I write songs, I write lyrics, I write poems, things like that. That's always been an escape valve, a relief valve for those kind of empathy feelings that I can't get rid of. And there are certain other things that I do too. Like this year for my birthday, what I asked for from my family was this simple thing. I didn't want anything. I asked that they would give money to a local no-kill shelter. And all of them did. And because of that, it was the best birthday I've had in years. Because I didn't get stuff. Everybody gave money to this no-kill shelter. Help people, because that's one of my things. Animals are innocent. Cats, dogs, they're innocent. They don't deserve the treatment they get oftentimes. So that was a way to, personal boundaries aside, there's only so much I can do.
Sure.
I did what I could do there. And we give money to them too. So it's one of those things. I think recognizing your empathy helps you to set those personal boundaries too.
Yeah.
Recognizing the things that when you hear about them or read about them, they make you sad, they make you angry, they make you frustrated, they make you happy. Because sometimes those things aren't the best either. Like in a recent episode, I talked about how much I like watching videos on YouTube of like car crashes and stuff and seeing how they happen and dissecting them.
Sociopath.
Yeah, it's not really a good thing to go down that rabbit hole and look up 2 hours later like, I should have gone to bed an hour ago and no, I'm going to watch another one. That's not good for you either, especially if you're empathetic, you know, because in watching those, I realize oftentimes people get hurt.
Oh, yeah.
And in my head, but here's the thing too, and this is getting off topic a little bit, but I've been thinking about that since we talked about that, is having watched so many of those videos, they have helped me on the road because I have avoided a couple incidents just by like seeing the scene ahead of me and going, I'll bet that guy up there is going to pull out and switching lanes. Yeah. And by God, they did. You know, it's not Spidey sense. It's not, oh, Jedi, I tapped into the Force. It's because I watched enough of these fucking videos. Okay. And that's exactly the kind of thing that I would watch and that would happen. And then it did. So I feel validated in my love of watching that shit. Maybe I'm just rationalizing. I don't know.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I think a lot of this empathy stuff, I mean, everybody is designed to contribute to the greater good. Yeah. To the greater whole in one way or another. And not everybody is going to be a revolutionary or a great orator or a great philanthropist who can do these major things. Maybe you're not a doctor or someone who can cure diseases. But there's small, tiny ways that people can help the world around them. Yeah. And I think the problem with today is that the media and journalists and social media and influencers, people goad and force feed you negativity. Yeah. And it makes people go a little crazy. And they think, oh, okay, well, I am the rebellion. I am, the revolutionary. I am the person who can save the world. And you're not. Just check yourself before you wreck yourself. No, but, I mean, you know how it is.
But counterpoint to that.
Yeah.
Everybody can do their part.
Exactly.
And that's the whole thing.
Know your role.
Know what you can and can't do.
In the immortal words of Rocky Maivia. Know your role.
Yeah. Balance. It's all about balance and being willing to accept yourself as you are. Do what you can in your small way. Mm-hmm. And everything will work out fine.
And boy, don't beat other people over the head with it too. I mean, that's a fast way to lose support.
The biggest thing is live your truth. To me, if a cause matters to you, live it. Talk about it, sure, but live it more than anything. Don't just be the propaganda, be the action.
Put your money and your time and your effort where your mouth is.
Yeah. And on that note, that'll do it for this edition.
That's it. That was fast.
That's it. We ran our time. Unless you want to do another rapid fire.
Oh, we'll do one more rapid fire.
Want to do another rapid fire? Let me see what we got here on the shit.
Let's leave them with something other than preaching.
Let's see. No, don't want to do that.
Did you know that the next episode is going to be our 100th episode?
The next episode?
Yeah.
Cool.
It's true.
Are we going to do something special?
I hope so.
I don't have anything planned. Let's see. Space and sci-fi.
All right.
Star Wars Arcade or Star Trek Strategic Operations Simulator?
I got to go with the Star Wars Arcade. It's classic.
Damn well better. Defenders or Stargate?
A Defender.
Yeah. Sorry, I said Defenders. It's Defender. My bad. Yeah, I love Defender. Yeah. That was a great game.
Stargate is a little too much.
Yeah. Xevious or R-Type?
Xevious.
Galaxian or Zaxxon? Don't you dare say Galaxy.
I hate them both. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I cannot stand either one of those games, but I have to go with Galaxian if I had to pick one. I don't do well in that sort of, isometric view of Zaxxon. I'm always running into walls.
Yeah, they're both hard to play.
Yeah.
But Gradius or Darius? I don't even know what either one of those are.
Gradius.
Okay. Sinistar or Gorf?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Don't say Gorf.
I'm going to have to go with Gorf.
What?
That was my first love when
Really?
when I was a very little kid. That was the first game I played that had simulated voice.
Really?
And I used to love playing it at the bowling alley when I was really little. Nice, varied game style. Now, Sinistar was also available at the drugstore next door to the bowling alley, so I could go over and play it as well.
Right.
Which I loved the whole character of Sinistar.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. But as far as gameplay goes, I enjoyed me some Gorf.
Okay. Star Castle or Space Duel?
Star Castle.
Robotron 2084 or Smash TV?
Oh, gosh. That's so hard. They're so much the same. I have to go with Smash TV.
Okay.
I love some Robotron, but Smash TV had the whole game show angle, which I love.
Yeah. Lunar Lander or Major Havoc?
Terrible, both of them. I have to go with Major Havoc.
Okay. Asteroids Deluxe or Blasteroids?
Another terrible combo. Asteroids Deluxe.
Nah, see, you got to go Blasteroids just because, like, Mastodon has a song called Blasteroid.
Oh, okay. So
yeah, that's the only reason.
Were they
I'm
inspired by the arcade game Blasteroids?
I probably.
I hope so.
I'm trying to sing it in my head, like the lyrics. It very well could be. Yeah,
okay.
Actually, now that you think about it.
Yeah, there were some lousy choices there. I'm surprised Galaga did not come up as a choice because that's the superior space shooter in my opinion. And we didn't even get Space Invaders, ironically.
No, well, it was just
the OG.
It was just space and sci-fi, so I don't know what they were actually going for there, but
boy, Lunar Lander. Can you imagine that being one of your favorite games? An exercise in frustration.
No. And can we, at least my take, all of those games, I would rather play Moon Patrol.
Oh yeah.
Than any of those.
Yeah, so, that music is great.
Yeah, actually, I'd kill to play Moon Patrol right now.
Hey.
If I could have a couple like arcade games in my house, Moon Patrol would be one. Paperboy would be one.
Paperboy's great.
And probably, what was the one at the bowling alley? The combat one, where you were like a soldier. Was it like Contra?
There was Commando. There was
it might have been
Ikari
Commando.
Warriors.
It wasn't that.
And there was Commando. Well, I just said Commando. I'm sorry. There was Frontline. What was the other one?
I thought it was Contra.
It could be. Maybe they had
know.
a Contra game there. I don't know.
Yeah.
Contra seems like it was a little after our time at the bowling alley. But
I'm trying to remember. I can picture the screen in my mind, but I can't picture.
Are you running up the screen or across the screen? That's Commando.
Okay, it was Commando.
All right.
I would take that too.
I'm not a big Commando fan. I always sucked at that game.
It was one of the only games that I felt like I got my quarter's worth out of it.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's the thing. You're good at video games.
I like.
I'm not. Yeah. I'm not. I never have been. Like sports games, I can play. Everything else, like Tracy is great at video games. I'm not. I'm a hack. I'm a ham and egger.
So you talk about sports video games. What was your opinion of Track and Field, the arcade game?
Boring.
Okay.
Yeah.
You didn't like smashing the buttons manically.
No, that whole thing was just like, no. Now
you could always tell when somebody was playing it from across the arcade.
Yeah. No, I like the weird thing is like boxing games were always fun because they were
Mike
almost
Tyson's Punch Out and all
yeah, because they were almost like first person and they made sense for the gameplay action that you had. Actual shooter games where you had like a rifle or a crossbow were always fun.
Okay.
Because, you know, I was a shooter at the time and I knew how to kind of sort of do that. But a lot of the games, like, you know, if you, like one of the, what were the football games? I forget what they were even called. There were a few out there. Like, you were never going to get much gameplay out of it.
Sure.
So, I don't know. Anyway, on that note,
hey,
thanks for joining us here on the Gen-X-istentialists. If you could have an arcade game at your home, what would it be? Leave us a comment and let us know, and might pick up on it in an episode down the line.
Yep.
Until we meet again, my name is Scott.
CM100, I'm Bunny.
Have a good one.